Did you come down to Birmingham specifically to cause trouble?
I see football.
And did you see much football?
Never seen any. Never seen the park.
How many fans were actually very, very drunk?
I can't tell you. You've never seen all of you. You only come off the bus and then thrown in jail.
You must have done something to be thrown in jail.
I ran into a post. The Villa fans were chasing us. We ran into the post and they jailed us.
When the fight was Aston Villa,
big riot.
The Villa.
who was throwing the pens and beer bottles? Who was the boy with the Celtic scarf then? He was the first man to invade the park.
Well, Saturday morning, about, say 7 o'clock onwards, when the coaches started to arrive on the Villa Ground coach park, they started then, they took milk from the milkman, from the local milkman, they took bread off them, they played football with the bread, they took the bottles, they broke the bottles, they threw them through windows, and then after that, instead of using any toilet they could find, they used the people's letterboxes as toilets. Then they started running up and down the streets, and there was running fights in every street. We were backing onto the railway. They were running along the back of the railway with pickaxes, anything they could get hold of. There was running fights at the back. They were standing, throwing bricks at the windows at the back. And then about 2 o'clock it went very quiet because they all went in the match. Then the match was abandoned, as you know, right? Now our children not being allowed out all day. From 7 o'clock in the morning, our children were kept in. So I said to my own 2 boys, this lad, another laddie from across the road, you can play in my front room, right, where we know where you are. They were playing in the front room, they came out of the match, and they stood along the palings over here, and they used it as a urinal, and then they stood in the street exposing themselves. And when I say exposing themselves, I mean exposing themselves. Little girl here, with a little teeny sister coming up from an aunt's up the road. All the children in the street were in the same position. That these men, they weren't men, they were animals, right?
Have you ever seen anything like this before?
We've had trouble before, we always have trouble, and it's not just a Rangers match, we have trouble every match. It's about
every second Saturday.
Every second Saturday we get it. It's not long ago I brought 2 little boys, 13-year-old, from Chesterfield, off the railway bank, being chased by Villa fans, and the one little boy got his arm split from here to here, and I had to bandage it up for him and send for the police, who took him to the hospital and then escorted him to the railway station to put him on the train.
What are you all doing about it then?
What can we do about it? You get people like Ellis says, once they're outside the Villa ground, there's nothing he can do about it. You never see your MP unless he's canvassing for votes, right? But people are not going to put up with this. We're going to start barricading our streets and we'll do something. Somebody's got to do something. We've had enough.
I would entirely agree with them. I think that this behaviour is totally unacceptable. It's a mob rule, really, brought about, as I say, by alcoholic intake. And ordinary decent people are entitled to go to football matches or to live within the vicinity of football grounds without this problem. And all I would say to them is that the Home Secretary and I are absolutely determined to do everything we can to eliminate this evil from our society. But it's a very, very deep-seated evil, may I say. It doesn't start and end with football. Indeed, it's nothing to do with football. Football is just the medium which is used in order to enjoy this antisocial rave-up, I would call it.